finally, we can say it again, TGIF. Naku, Friday na naman, ano? It's been a roller coaster of a week and we hope you'll use this weekend to breathe and regroup. I'm Denise Tan.
Roller coaster ba talaga?
Oh, ano ba dapat?
Oro ride? Mga ganun.
Oo.
Lourdes Vera naman po ang aking pangalan. Salamat Jesus at Biyernes na naman. Sana makapahinga matapos ang matinding isang linggong ngaragan. Pero paano ka re-relax kung tambak naman ang labahan? I-archive na lang muna all your fears and pangamba, lahat ng makulit na parang gagamba, all your troubles and all your frights. And all is well in Afternoon Delight.
Kahaba-haba ng linggo. Umabot
Kala ko
din
sabihin
tayo.
mo, kahaba-haba ng intro mo.
Hindi. Enjoy nga kami dyan eh. Of
Ay, thank
course.
you.
Oh.
Alam mo naman, minsan, yung lengthy, mas okay. Alright, kamusta ang iyong weekend? Ano ang plano mo, Denise Tan?
Ako ay bibisita sa aking mga pamangkin, sa aking mom and dad. At meron ako isa-celebrate na children's party. Na birthday ng anak ng friend ko.
Uy.
Titahan galore talaga.
Titahan galore. Talagang tita duties.
Yes. Oo.
Yan.
Pero medyo pahinga rin tayo kasi
Mag-practice ka na. Lalala pa yan.
Lalala pa? Tatlo na yung pamangkin ko. Talagang titang-tita na talaga ako.
Alam mo lang tatlo yan, pero dadami rin.
Dadami pa?
O, bigla kang, uy, may inaanak ka bigla na hindi mo alam kung sino yung kumare mo. O kumpare mo. Maniwala ka sa akin.
Nafe-feel ko naman yan. Minsan nga litong-lito na ako. Ilan ba ang inaanak ko dun sa isang kaibigan ko? Isa o dalawa?
Lalo na pagkapaskuhan.
Oo.
Oo, tapos may mga digital wallet na
Ay,
ngayon.
hindi ako
gaya ng Maya,
nagsisend.
Gcash.
Hindi ako nagsisend ng gano'n.
Oo, pero may makukulit talaga eh.
Nagsasabi
Oo.
na gano'n na lang.
Mars naman, gano'n. Alam mo yung nag-viral, di ba? Siya pa yung galit. Kasi parang, ang konti daw ng pinapadala mo. Sabi, takaw mo naman, kaya ka tumataba.
My goodness.
Grabe, huwag yung gagayahin.
Oo. Ako kasi personally, ang gusto ko yung inaabot ko sa bata. Mga red
Paano
mga
kung yung
envelopes.
bata ayaw kang makita? Ang habol lang sa'yo ay salapi.
Di okay lang. Umi-effort pa rin siya.
At least umi-effort, di ba?
Oo.
Maraming di umi-effort eh.
May gusto siyang makuha sa akin eh. Di umi-effort siya ng konti, di ba? Oo.
Hashtag, kilala nyo kung sino kayo.
Alright, sige. Again, it is the start of the weekend.
So, sana mag-enjoy kayo sa inyong mga pinaplano sa weekend dahil maraming holidays din ang Agosto. Okay. So, start na ba tayo sa balita, partner?
Sige, pwede.
Alright. So, in the news, President Marcos addresses the silence of his government on online gambling in last week's State of the Nation address. In his latest podcast, the chief executive says his administration is yet to craft a clearer policy on the matter. And for that, he plans to gather stakeholders, including members of the clergy. Mr. Marcos also stressed online gambling should not be compared to pogos, which have been linked to criminal activities.
We still have to form the policy on what we are going to do about online gambling. And to this end, I have already started to organize to convene a conference of those who are all the stakeholders. We are talking about marami tayong naririnig from the CBCP. So, sama natin sila. What is the problem we're trying to solve? What we're trying to solve is that hindi malubog sa utang ang wala namang kaya,
Yes.
pero napapasubo dahil sa sugal. Mga bata na natututo magsugal. Let's focus on that. Paano natin patitigilin yan? These are the things that we're going to examine, and we will come up with a plan to make sure that we address the problem.
Meantime, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is finalizing new rules requiring e-wallets to impose stricter controls on online gambling payments. The measures include biometric checks, daily transfer limits, time-based restrictions, and tools for users to set personal spending caps. These aim to curb addiction, fraud, and financial harm. For their part, mobile payment services say they are also committed to help regulate online gambling. Globe CFO Carlo Puno said GCash will roll out new features such as self-exclusion options and customizable top-up limits. He added that users can even choose to block gaming activities temporarily or permanently. On the other hand, Tofrada, head of corporate affairs of Maya, said they are also committed to introducing added controls and friction.
And moving on to another story, Vice President Sara Duterte has been cited in Davao City. That's for those wondering where she was during the past few days, especially on the exact day that the Senate voted to have her impeachment complaint archived. And the details in this report.
Vice President Sara Duterte attended the Thanksgiving Mass at San Pedro Church in Davao City on Thursday. This is part of the Kadayawan Festival celebration this month. There, the Vice President said the Senate's decision to archive her impeachment case should be respected.
I wanted a bloodbath, meaning I wanted all the pieces of evidence from the prosecution and all the pieces of evidence from the defense presented for everyone. But unfortunately, wala na siya. So possibly, wala ta kibalo, 2026, 2027, 2028, na ay mga mag-file na po og impeachment. That will be another opportunity to answer.
On Senator Alan Peter Cayetano's statement that if people really wanted VP Sara removed, they should just defeat her in the 2028 elections. This was the Vice President's response.
Well, yes, ang mga senators na sila kaugalingon po nila na mga stand and opinion, and we should respect each manifestation and stand sa ato ang mga senators.
According to the Vice President, her father, former President Duterte, was pleased with the Supreme Court decision declaring her impeachment case unconstitutional.
Tinawagan siya ng kanyang lawyer at ibinalita sa kanya na nanalo siya sa Supreme Court case, na mag-relax daw siya for one day. Hindi daw siya mag-meetings at hindi siya mag-physical therapy dahil gusto niya daw i-enjoy yung moment na nanalo yung kaso sa Supreme Court.
Vice President Sara Duterte also held a Thanksgiving celebration together with her legal team and petitioners advocating for the dismissal of her impeachment case. Davao City councilors also attended the gathering. The Vice President's final engagement on Thursday was a meeting with barangay captains inside Davao City Hall. She was scheduled to fly back to Manila last night.
And at this point, let's bring in News 5 correspondent Bril Montalvo live from the city of Davao. Bril, okay, balita namin, kinumpirma na ni Vice President na sa ICC visit daw, na bawal na raw, barred from visiting sa ICC itong si Hanilet Avancenia.
Let's forward pa po dyan sa ambush interview natin kahapon kay Vice President Sara Duterte matapos ang kanyang mga event na dito sa Davao City in line na the celebration of Kariwan Festival ngayong buwan ay sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte at kinumpirmahan niya na nagbabawalan yung mga common requirements dating Pangulong Duterte na si Hanilet Avancenia sa pagbisita nga kay
Bril?
Digong doon na sa loob ng ICC
Bril?
detention of
Bril, sorry, oo. Makisuyo lang kami. Baka pwedeng ilapit yung mic? Oo, ng konti. Sayang ang report. Medyo mahangin eh. Puro hangin yung nadidinig namin.
Ayan, Lord
Perfect.
Denise. Okay na po ba?
Better, Bril. Thank you.
Ayun na. Lord Denise, mga kayo dyan, no? Sa isang ambush interview nga kahapon kay Vice President Sara Duterte, sinabi niya at kinumpirma nga niya na pinagbabawalan na itong common law wife ni dati Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na si Hanilet Avancenia sa pagbisita nga sa kanya sa loob ng detention facility ng ICC doon nga sa The Hague, Netherlands. Pero sinabi ni VP Sara na wala umano siyang eksaktong rason or hindi niya alam kung ano ang rason nito nga sa pagbabawal kaya Hanilet Avancenia. At sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte na happy nga itong si Tatay Digong nung malaman na binasura nga ng Supreme Court itong kanyang impeachment case at nagdeklara ng unconstitutional itong kataas-taasang hukuman sa naging impeachment case ni Vice President Sara Duterte. At kahapon ng gabi matapos ang kanyang sunod-sunod na event dito sa Davao City, ay bumalik na siya sa Maynila kahapon ng gabi. At nauna nang sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa kanyang mga nakalipas na interview na sinabi niya ngayong araw nga, August 8, ay pupunta siya ng Kuwait para makipaghalubilo, makipag-meeting sa mga Filipino community doon. Pero wala tayong eksaktong impormasyon kung natuloy ba ang bise doon nga sa kanyang aktibidad sa daig sa Kuwait. So nakatakda ng mga babalik dito si Vice President Sara Duterte sa Davao City sa susunod na linggo para makipagdiwang sa selebrasyon nga sa mga highlights activity sa araw ng Davao dito sa Davao City. Balik sa inyo.
Bril, wala bang details patungkol dun sa claim naman ng palace na yung pagpunta niya dun sa Kuwait, wala daw travel authority, as well as yung kanyang reaksyon? May nakuha ka din ba dun sa pag-archive ng Senado dun sa kanyang impeachment trial?
Alam mo, Denise, natanong din yan na kay Vice President Sara Duterte kapon sa isang ambush interview. At sinabi nga niya na hindi pa siya nakarinig or nakatanggap or nakabalita na na ito ang hinggil sa kanyang travel authority, na aalis siya ngayon sa bansa without travel authority. At ang sabi ni Sara, kung totoo man yung sinabi ni Yusek Claire Castro na pumunta umano siya doon sa Kuwait nang walang travel authority, malamang ito ay fake news daw at nililiis ng umano ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang tunay na estado ng bansa, ang tunay na problema ng bansa at diversionary tactics lang muna ito ng administrasyon para nakatuon ang isyu sa mga Duterte, particular sa kanya. At doon naman sa pag-archive ng Senado sa kanyang naging impeachment case, ay ang sabi lang ni VP Sara ay dapat nating respetuhin ang naging desisyon ng Senado. At sabi naman ni VP Sara na willing naman siyang willing siya na linisin ang kanyang pangalan. Pero sa takdang panahon hindi daw sa panahon ngayon. Kasi alam naman natin na nagdeklara na ng unconstitutional ang Supreme Court at nagpasya na rin ang mayorya ng Senado na i-archive nga itong kanyang impeachment case. Balik sa inyo.
Okay, so yung mga panawagan, Bril, na siguro kung baka lang may nagtanong sa kanya, no? Yung mga panawagan na kailangan mo pa rin sagutin, yung dapat may ilang senador na nagsabi na bagaman nag-vote sila to archive, kailangan pa rin sagutin, di ba?
Yes, as nilinaw ngayon ni VP Sara kahapon na willing siyang i-defend ang kanyang self at linisin ang kanyang pangalan hinggil sa impeachment case na ipinupukol sa kanyang mga issue na ibinabato sa kanya, pero hindi sa panahon ngayon. Sabi niya, baka sa takdang panahon, baka sa 2026, 2027 or sa taong 2028 kung may mag-file na naman ng impeachment case laban sa kanya.
Oo. Sige, ikaw muna, partner.
Sige. And then, Bril, kasi may komento siya dun sa dun sa desisyon ng Supreme Court at kailangan daw respetuhin. Pero ano naman ang komento niya? Because there is an motion for reconsideration right now filed by the House. Anong sinabi niya doon?
Alam mo, Denise, nakahanda naman anytime ang defense team or ang legal team ni Vice President Sara Duterte dito nga sa impeachment case niya. Kung sakaling papanigan o kakatigan ng Supreme Court ito nga motion for reconsideration na inihain ng Kamara.
Balikan ko lang ulit yung issue nung kay Hanilet Avancenia, Bril, yung allegation kasi sinasabi na ng Vice President wala pa raw siyang pinapakitang pinipresent na papel sa kanila, pero ang sinasabi ni Hanilet medyo sinisisi niya yung legal counsel, si Kaufman, supposedly nasuspende ang visitation rights. Suspension lang hindi ko alam yung ginagamit the word na barred, hindi ko alam kung permanent na yan. Pero yung suspension daw kasi was due to discussing over the phone the case at may mga ibang dumulog din yata kasi parang yun yung deklarasyon ni Hanilet, na parang wala na ba kaming karapatan na kumausap din sa ibang mga abogado, parang gano'n, parang pakpalinaw mga Bril, ano ba yung mga supposedly yung mga sitwasyon ba?
At tama ka nga dyan, Gordo, sa isang pahayag nga kay Hanilet Abarcena ay sinabi niya na pinagbabawalan umano siya sa pagbisita kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa loob ng detention facility sa Dahig. Kasi nga, yung July 19 umano ay napag-usapan umano ni former President Rodrigo Duterte at ni Hanilet Abarcena na itong hinggil sa kaso niya sa ICC na mahigpit na ipinagbabawal nga ng rules ng ICC na bawal mag-discuss ng itong kaso ni former President Rodrigo Duterte sa loob ng ICC kung sino man ang dadanaw sa kanya. At nilinaw din ni depensa naman ni Hanilet Abarcena na wala umano silang napag-usapan hinggil sa ICC case ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte noong bumisita siya last July 19 doon nga sa loob ng detention facility. At sinisisi nga niya, tama ka dyan, sinisisi nga niya si Kaufman kung bakit daw na suspende siya sa pagbisita kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa loob ng detention facility. At yun nga, kinumpirma yan ni Vice President Sara Duterte kahapon, pero walang eksaktong detalye si Vice President Sara Duterte kung ano talaga ang rason sa pag-suspende nga kay Hanilet Abarcena sa pagbisita kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte.
Alam mo, next month na yung yung unang-unang pagdinig, September. May kwento, may sinabi na ba ang mga anak ni dating Pangulong Duterte kung saan sila matatagpuan kapag araw na ng presentation o confirmation of charges?
Alam mo, speaking of anak ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, ngayon ng Sunday, linggo ng alas 5 ng gabi, ay magkakaroon na naman ng another episode ng podcast. Ito nga si Acting Mayor Baste Duterte. So alamin natin kung matatakel ba niya, kung pupunta pa sila doon sa nalalapit itong hearing ng kaso ng kanyang ama. At Sara naman, ay baka next month ay babalik siya sa Dahig. Sa ngayon, ang nandoon pa sa Dahig ay si Hanilet Abarcena.
Magkakahamon na naman kaya? Sa Sunday ba yun, Kamabril? Sa Sunday?
Oo nga.
Araw ng Davao pala.
Possible,
Malapit na. Kung ano ba nangyayari pag araw ng Davao, Bril? Paano ba nagsa-celebrate?
Alam mo, a month ng celebration ng Kadayawan Festival. Kadayawan Festival na Davao City. At one of the highlights itong ang indak-indak sa Kadayawan na magkakaroon ng street parade and float parade dito nga sa lungsod, sa downtown area ng Davao City. At isa sa ine-expect na lalahok dyan mag-parade sa indak-indak sa Kadayawan, ito nga si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Ano yun? Ano sa Kadayawan? Paulit ng word yan, Bril?
Indak-indak sa kadalanan, meaning street dance parade.
Indak-indak?
Street dance. Street dance parade.
Di ako maniniwala kung walang sample.
Ay, abangan natin kung may mapag-sample. Ay, si Bril na daw magsasample? Oo daw.
IPPN ko na lang.
PM na lang. May point nga naman.
IPPM ang video. Okay.
Sana nandyan tayo para makita yung bagay-bagay at paano street dance itong ating News 5 Davao correspondent, Bril Montalvo. Thank you, Bril. Happy weekend.
All right, in related news, the camp of former President Rodrigo Duterte is asking the International Criminal Court to remove Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan from his case. In a redacted August 7 filing, Duterte's lawyers say Can had represented victims of the drug war before becoming an ICC prosecutor in 2021. The defense team claims that Can failed to disclose this and may have used information from the role in pursuing Duterte's case. Digong's defenders urged the ICC Appeals Chamber to act before the former president's confirmation of charges hearing on September 23. Can is currently on a self-imposed leave over unrelated sexual misconduct claims.
And it is time to take our first break. And as we do so, we bring you global headlines from the Associated Press. Magbabalik po ang Afternoon Light.
This is AP News Minute. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says to destroy Hamas, Israel intends to take full control of the Gaza Strip. He said Israel would eventually transfer Gaza's administration to friendly Arab forces as the Security Cabinet discussed a widening of its 22-month offensive. President Trump is seeking to change how the Census Bureau collects data and wants to exclude immigrants in the U.S. illegally. The president said on social media the census data collections will be based on modern-day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. Senator John Cornyn says the FBI has agreed to help find the Democratic legislators who left Texas to block a vote on new redistricting maps. He had requested federal help Tuesday. Skydance and Paramount officially closed their $8 billion merger, kicking off the reign of a new entertainment giant after contentious over a year-long endeavor to get the transaction over the finish line.
This is AP News Minute. President Donald Trump has started imposing tariffs on more than 60 countries and the European Union. Places where they've taken effect include Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Vietnam. Trump expects some major trading partners to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in the U.S. A White House official says President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin could meet next week. Trump is pushing for an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. An Army sergeant is accused of shooting 5 soldiers at Fort Stewart, Georgia. The wounded soldiers are expected to recover. 28-year-old Sergeant Cornelius Radford was arrested. United Airlines grounded planes at major U.S. airports on Wednesday due to a technology problem. More than 1,000 flights were delayed. Some disruptions could continue into Thursday.
Welcome back. This is still Afternoon Delight on One News. Ako po si Lord de Vera.
At ako naman po, si Denise Tan. Magandang hapon po muli.
And on to the news.
Yung storya natin. Okay. The Makabayan Bloc is seeking to overturn the Supreme Court's decision to block the Duterte impeachment complaint. They filed consolidated motion for reconsideration and intervention before the High Court on Friday. Among the petitioners were ACT Party List Representative Antonio Tino, Kabataan Party List Rene Co, Makabayan President Liza Maza, and Bagong Alyansang Makabayan Chairperson Teddy Casino. In their motion, the group urged that the House of Representatives did not commit grave abuse of discretion in initiating the complaint and did not violate the one-year bar rule. They stressed the lower chamber merely exercised its constitutional authority when it endorsed the articles of impeachment to the Senate.
And speaking of the Senate, members of the Senate minority and Senator Kiko Pangilinan have explained their vote and why they believe that the ouster complaint is far from dead. Here is the report.
Senator Kiko Pangilinan is raising concerns over the Senate's decision to archive the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, suggesting the move may have fallen short of its constitutional duty. In an interview with A Big Story, Pangilinan said the chamber should have waited for the Supreme Court to rule on the pending motion for consideration.
Talagang gigil na gigil tapusin. Nakakalungkot. We actually abdicated our constitutional mandate and duty to uphold and defend the Constitution as having the exclusive jurisdiction over the case.
Pangilinan also pointed out that the Senate did not convene as an impeachment court before making its decision, something he believes should have been done to ensure due process.
How can the Senate archive a complaint that was not referred to it? It was referred to this Senate impeachment court. Walang jurisdiction yung Senado in plenary sa impeachment complaint.
Senator Risa Hontiveros also questioned the urgency behind the move. Hontiveros told Storyco that the Senate should have acted as early as February when it was first transmitted by the House of Representatives. Hontiveros also stressed that the complaint is not necessarily over and could still be revived.
Definitely hindi pa patay yung impeachment complaint na iyan, naka-archive, ibig sabihin parang sa library kung naalala pa ng ating manonood, kumbaga naka-file away dun sa archives. Pero extra effort para lang hukayin yan at ilabas sa archive.
In 1PH's One Balita Pilipinas, Senator Ping Lacson, who abstained from the vote, said he's withholding judgment until the High Court issues a final ruling, out of respect for the judicial process.
Sa archive, nag-abstain ako kasi nga, lagi ko sinasabi na dapat igalang at sundin ang Korte Suprema. Teka muna, paano kung dumating ang panahon na halimbawa yung Supreme Court dahil sa MR, ni-reverse na lang sarili at sinabing pwede yung Senado na mag-proceed na mag-trial.
Senate Minority Leader Tito Soto, meanwhile, emphasized the importance of protecting the Constitution, regardless of political positions.
Talagang gusto lang nila na ma-dismiss eh. As a matter of fact, pagka yan nagkaroon ng motion to bring back from the archive, dahil let's say Supreme Court nag-reverse, tignan mo kung ilan na mag-o-object dyan. Ayaw lang nila Ako naman, whether ayaw mo o gusto mo, preserve the Constitution.
And as expected, the House of Representatives and several groups are still furious over the Senate's vote on Sara Duterte's impeachment. They ask why the rush to kill and bury the ouster move. But senators are adamant that they did the right thing and they did the legal thing. And mobile journalist Marymon Reyes reports.
While senators were voting to archive the impeachment complaint, members of Tindig Pilipinas and Akbayan could not have made their dismay any clearer. A thumbs-down gesture that caused them to be escorted out of the session hall gallery. Pro-impeachment personalities found senators' move disappointing and disturbing.
At hindi na naman nga po ako nakatulog. Ang hindi po namin maintindihan kung bakit pinilit nilang may archive. Bakit sila nagmamadali?
Nakakahiya itong ginawa ng Senado. Napatunayan nila na indeed sila nga ay Duterte Senate.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez shares the disappointment. He said to archive Duterte's impeachment is, in effect, to bury the case altogether, despite the earlier ruling of the Supreme Court to block it not being final yet. Romualdez believes the High Tribunal found the House's motion for reconsideration serious enough to require respondents that include the VP to reply. Romualdez insisted other lawmakers had more colorful words.
To make patol is human, to deadma is divine. So, deadma na lang kami.
Such is a perceived jab at Senator Amy Marcos, who took a swipe at the House Speaker as she was explaining her yes vote to archiving the impeachment.
Kesa inaatupag ninyong palitan ang pinili ng taong bayan, ano kaya kung yung speaker nyo na lang ang paltan nyo? Kaya nyo yan.
On the day after the Senate vote, the president's sister and cousin to the speaker clarified this was just a suggestion.
Kasi yun naman talaga ang ugat ng lahat na ito. Politika naman talaga at ambisyon ng isang dambuhalang sanggol. Bawal bang sabihin ang katotohanan? Wag nilang minamasama. Hindi naman ako nakikialam. Hindi nga kami sumasagot kapag iniinsulto kami ng bonggang-bongga.
Amy likewise claimed some congressmen are no longer happy with their current leader.
Nung araw ng SONA, maraming nag-aabang. Nababalitaan ko rin yung mga umaalma. Maraming abangers. Di ba? Sino ba nagsabi nun? Maraming nag-iintay. Pero hindi dumating. Ang bas-bas.
For Senator Amy, the blessing is now with her friend Sara Duterte, whom she texted right after the Senate vote of 19 yeses, 4 noes, and 1 abstention. The Vice President answered with a simple thanks. But is the impeachment really over? Even Marcos said revival is not impossible at this point.
Yes, it's dead, but it's not really buried. But yes, it's dead. In effect, because it's in the archive, sumusunod lang kami sa batas at sa Korte Suprema. Kaya nga tinatawag na Supreme Court yan. Alam nga naman na Super Supreme Court pa kami, katulad ni sabi ni SP, o Supremer Court pa kami, o may Supremest pa. Wala namang ganun eh. Talagang Supreme Court.
Yung taong bayan po ay nanatili pong nagtatanong. At tinatanong po ng taong bayan kung nasaan po napunta yung mahigit kalahating bilyong piso na nawawala po. Tinatanong rin po ng taong bayan kung nasaan at kung sino si Mary Grace Piatos. So, ito po, hindi po ito mariresolba sa pamamagitan po ng pag-atake sa aming House Speaker dahil ang issue po dito ay accountability. Ngayon, ang tanong ko po, ano po ba ang iniiwasan at pinoprotektahan nila?
Mobile journalist Marymon Reyes, we are One News.
Here now is a quick rundown of more stories on One News. The low-pressure area west of Ilocos region has developed into a tropical depression named Fabian. Pag-asa says Fabian is unlikely to directly affect the weather condition in the country. It is expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility tonight or tomorrow morning. Aside from Fabian, Pag-asa is also monitoring tropical storm Podul, which is still outside par. The Department of Energy sees a rollback in the prices of fuel products next week. Diesel prices are expected to go down by up to 1 peso and 25 centavos per liter, gasoline by 25 centavos, and kerosene by 1 peso and 20 centavos. The DOE attributes the potential rollback to rising OPEC Plus supply and supposed confusion over U.S. tariffs on buyers of Russian oil. The Philippine Coast Guard confirms the discovery of a suspected underwater drone. The device was found by fishermen in the waters of Bolinao, Pangasinan on August 6. The drone measures 160 centimeters in length and weighs 100 kilograms. And Ibahay, Aklan Vice Mayor Julio Estolioso was shot dead inside his office on Friday morning. The police rushed him to the hospital where he was declared dead on arrival. The suspect, Mirel Senatin, has been arrested and is now in PNP custody while investigations continue. Senatin is a member of the Sangguniang Bayan. We also give you a quick look at stories from our partners, the Philippine Star and Business World. The Philippine Star has listed down each and every foreign trip of Vice President Sara Duterte. Duterte had flown to at least 8 international destinations the past year, based on media bulletins from the OVP and publicly available reports. Business World, meantime, is reporting about government debt to GDP ratio, which has climbed to 63.1%. This is the highest since the year 2005. For more details of these stories, you can visit the social media pages of the Philippine Star and Business World. Do check out as well the social media platforms of One News PH for the very latest news.
And President Marcos is set to return to Manila after a 5-day state visit to India. Marcos held a high-level meetings with top Indian business leaders in New Delhi and Bengaluru. Companies include Ison Tower, Nephroplus, Induja Group, and Tata Consultancy Services, who all expressed commitments to expand operations in the Philippines. The President is expected to report soon about the total value of investments and pledges secured during the trip.
Speaking of President Marcos, he warns of escalating global tensions as he addressed conflicts in Gaza and Taiwan. In an exclusive interview with Indian media outlet First Post, Marcos decried Israel's attacks on Gaza, calling the starvation and humanitarian crisis unacceptable and a tragedy in modern times. He said only Israel has the power to halt the violence through global pressure, and arms embargoes could make a difference. On China, Mr. Marcos asserted that the Philippines will have to get involved if war erupts over Taiwan due to its geographic proximity to our country. China has since slammed Marcos' statements, saying the Philippines is playing with fire. The superpower also warned against using Filipinos in Taiwan as a pretext for interference. Beijing insists Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. Again, this is Afternoon Delight on One News. We just need to pause for another break. We'll be right back.
I have never been a quitter.
August 8th, 1974. In Washington, President Richard Nixon says he will resign amid damaging new revelations in the Watergate scandal.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
1963. Britain's great train robbery as thieves hold up the Glasgow to London mail train in an audacious heist. They steal £2.6 million in banknotes, a sum that's equivalent to tens of millions of dollars today. 1942. In Washington, 6 convicted Nazi saboteurs are executed after landing in the United States during World War II. 2 more saboteurs convicted in the case receive prison sentences. 1879. Emiliano Zapata, one of the major figures during the Mexican Revolution in the early 20th century, is born. And 1937.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me. Aren't you?
Oscar-winning actor Dustin Hoffman is born in Los Angeles. Among his roles, The Graduate, Midnight Cowboy, Kramer vs. Kramer, Tootsie, and Rain Man. Today in History, August 8th. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
Oy, you're still watching Afternoon Delight. And thank you for staying with us. Si Denise Tan po, Lourdes de Vera.
Alright. Kasama na din natin ngayon ang ating delight of the day. Mula daw sa hari ang ating burger and fries.
El Rey de Burger.
Oo.
Alam niyo na ang ibig sabihin nun pag tinranslate ninyo. El Rey de Burger.
Ayun. Ito, ano ba yung, masarap to itong burger na to.
Oo.
Simple lang pati. Ang laman niya ay talagang
Wow, hindi tayo
kakalikutan
tinipid.
ko. Wow.
Junior siya.
Ay, pakita natin, ayan. Ang pangit ba na pinakita ko pa? Tikman ko na lang muna yung fries.
Ba't ang pangit ng pinakita?
Kasi syempre baka sabihin nila, pinaglalaroan ko.
Hindi Ito yung The Junior. The Junior
Yun.
wafer.
Basta itong brand na to, yung siya talaga yung I would say, malalasahan mo yung parang medyo may char, parang mas smoky siya compared to other patties, Mamaya yung sa akin. I-reserve ko pang off-cam.
You know what they call a Big Mac in Paris?
What?
Royale with cheese.
Okay, sige.
Not Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac. Kumakain talaga tayo. Okay, sige. Habang nagme-merienda tayo, daanan natin ang mga storya natin on social media. On the Philippine Star via Live, former Superman actor Dean Cain is joining ICE, says U.S. has a, quote, broken immigration system. Ito daw si Dean.
Medyo hindi na siya, Hindi na siya yung youthful na panahon ng Superman.
Oo.
At may hirit din siya tungkol kay Superman, yung bago Superman, kasi masyado daw woke.
Actually, madami nagsasabi noon. Madami akong nadidinig-dinig from, mga tao and online pati na parang masyado daw madaming pinaglalaban yung Superman as opposed to before na parang more of really just ano ba tawag sa ganong story? Fantasy story? Ano ba tawag sa? Superhero story, yeah.
Pero kasi, may point naman din yung director, si James Gunn. Sabi niya, si Superman daw at pamilya niya ay mga immigrants.
Yes.
Na napunta sa Earth. Tapos, binago daw yung parang supposedly tagline kasi sa cartoons ng Superman nun. In defense, truth, justice, and the American way. Nag-object yung marami doon sa pagbabago ng the American way. So, kung sa mga conservatives, gaya nito si Dean Cain, na inabot mo ba ito, yung Lois and Clark?
Feeling ko nakakita ko ng ilang episodes niyan. Oo.
Gwaping na gwaping talaga ito noon.
Oo, actually.
Tapos, hindi kagaya ng marami mga Hollywood stars na mga Republicans, na hardcore conservatives, gaya ng maraming mga medyo sabihin natin na Monda, kuku side. Ito, Princeton graduate, pogi, balibat sa pogi, football player, muntik na maging football, professional football
All
star.
around talaga to siya. Actually, he is also, I think that the reason why he said also na he will be joining ICE, sworn deputy sheriff daw siya, and he is a reserve police officer. Pero parang may pasaring lang siya ginawa, but then I guess tototohanin na nila na he will be sworn in as part of ICE.
ICE, yung immigration, Pero, may hirit din kasi itong si Dean Cain tungkol doon sa bagong Superman. Sabi niya, no, Superman is not an immigrant. Tapos si Dean Cain, a.k.a. basta ang tunay na apelyido niya, Tanaka. Half Japanese kasi siya. Na ang criticism ng iba, tinatago raw pala supposedly niya yung kanyang pagkahapon na hindi naman daw totoo. May tattoo daw siya ng Tanaka dito sa paa. Pero ito lang, nabasa ko lang somewhere, na ang tunay talagang nito, si Mr. Cain, a.k.a. Tanaka, siya yung unang naging boyfriend daw, supposedly, ni Brooke Shields when Brooke Shields was the most talked about woman in the entire universe nung panahon na yun. At nagkaroon pa sila ng short fling ni Pam Anderson, hanep, Superman, Roger Tanaka, at saan ba ako pupunta dito sa sinasabi ko? Yun, so, nag-object siya na may sinabi siya something to the effect na hindi tayo lahat pwedeng magsiksikan sa Amerika. So, medyo alam mo na kung saan papunta yung hirit na yun. Pero kung, wag niyo sabihin na it's the greatest country in the world. Para hindi magpuntahan yung mga tao doon, okay?
May American dream kasi kayo, di ba?
Oo.
Kaya pupunta yung mga tao.
Yeah, maglalagay pa kayo ng ano yung tawag doon? Integrity.
The tax for the visa.
Visa integrity. Sabihin nyo, okay, pupunta rito, ang pangit dito. Yan.
Ayun.
Para wala nang gagawin ang immigration ninyo. Pang mga agents, para pwede sila mag-focus lahat doon sa mga nasa border lang. Yung mga basahing likod.
Okay. Sige, abangan natin kung he will really get sworn in as honorary ICE agent. Okay, now on CNN.com, one headline reads, sports betting is legal and growing more popular. Harassment of athletes by angry gamblers is rising too. Alam mo, hindi na bagong balita to, but it is concerning. Talaga? Oo, kasi, meron tayong mga nadidinig, syempre, yung mga gamblers, yung mga tumataya, talagang malalaki yung galit, even giving threats out sa mga, kahit dito sa Pilipinas, madaming nakakakuha ng death threats.
Wait, may magkaugnay ba ang usapin ng online betting at yung mga harassment sa athletes?
Well, in this particular case kasi, dahil nga legal yung betting, ang nangyayari is that itong mga tumataya, yung mga gamblers, they intentionally harass yung mga athletes. Sisirain yung laro nila, they make them scared. Ito yun meron dito na, biglang, itong isang athlete na to, an Olympian actually, si Gabby Thomas, parang kinakwento niya na she was just taking pictures, signing autograph with some kids, tas may lumapit sa kanya na pinagsisigawan siya and told her that she's going down. Something to that.
Di ba pag may mga nag-free throw naman kung ano nang abuse ang sinisigaw sa mga athletes, diba?
Ito ata siguro mas malapitan siguro.
Kasi yun nga, di ba? Wala supposedly na umaangal doon sa yung mga basketball superstars, kapag nasa free throw lang sila. Yung yabang nila ay in the fact na sige, hindi kami affected na kahit anong mga pang-distract ang ginagawa ninyo dyan. Kasi it's just me
and the ring.
In the ring, di ba? Tapos, ibang usapan to. Or, ang nais bang ang puntuhin ng article na ito ay nagkakaroon ng higher level of harassment kasi may pera involved.
Ganun na nga, oo. Because
sa audience.
Legal kasi. Legal kasi yung betting. So parang
matagal na naman may sports betting talaga,
ayun na diba? Nga, oo. So, kaya nga sabi ko kanina, hindi naman na bago yung balita ng ganito, but it is concerning. Paano, ang tanong ngayon dyan is how do you control it?
Halimbawa,
diba?
Baka sa bagay, baka kasi marami sa Pinoy, ang pinapanood pa rin yung ESPN nung panahon nila Michael Jordan. Pag tinetape mo yon, baka yung mga ads doon iba pa at pinapanood nila sa YouTube at nakasama yung mga. Ngayon, pag manood ka ng ESPN sa States, siguro, I think 60-70% ng mga ads, sports betting.
Oo. Madami kang makikita, no?
Minsan hindi mo mag-gets, ano raw? Ataya ka pala.
But again,
tapos mapapataya ka. Kasi ang galing nila mag-present.
Oo.
Diba? Parang may dalawang panig. Sino yung manok niya. Pero may dahilan din kung bakit. May ibang bansa, yung ganitong mga aktibidades ay naitulak palabas. Kasi it comes with the territory.
Yes. Sige. Yung mga bettors, basta tignan na lang natin how the athletes will be protected and at the same time, sana yung mga gamblers hindi rin na mag-resort to harassment.
Oo. Sa mga boxing, di ba? Yung mga laban ni Pacquiao, lagi may dyan. Anyway, kaso, kung ikaw ay, sabihin natin, ano bang tamang term para sa mangmang sa teknolohiya?
Ano ba yun?
Mas politically correct term. Hindi, ludite, masyadong
Newbie na lang, or whatever. Ano ba?
O sabihin natin, mga hindi Technobobs? Hindi,
wag naman yun.
Oo, masakit magsalita. Oo. Anyway, itong piece to sa Philippine Star. Interesting to, no? Not everyone grew up swiping. So, yung smart shaming ba?
Yes, smart shaming.
Yung may term doon.
Oo.
Hindi, pag binasa mo naman yung article, ang point niya ay, kung meron kayong mga nakakatanda o kakilala na of an earlier generation na hindi marunong mag-operate ng mga gadgets.
Oo.
No? At halimbawa yung mga lolo't lola na kinakabahan pagdating sa airport kasi kailangan nilang iswipe yung something. O may QR code na kailangan gawin. At they're holding up the line. Huwag kayong mag-express ng annoyance, etc. Tulungan ninyo sila.
Offer na lang your offer kindness, offer them your help. Again, bago sa kanila to, kahit tayo minsan nalilito sa mga options online or kung may bagong technology, inaaral natin. And same way that they try to do that. Pero kung magkakaroon ng smart shaming na tinatawag nga, lalo siguro silang matatakot at lalo na lang hindi matututunan yung technology.
Halimbawa, marami ng fast foods ngayon, fast food outlets na wala nang tao sa counter, kundi parang may pinipress ka na lang
yung
na parang
touchscreen.
Yung touchscreen.
Yes, oo.
Hindi po lahat ay nakakaintindi na gumamit ng gano'n. Maraming, para sa kanila, sa mga tulad natin, sa mga kaedad ni Denise Tan, halimbawa, magkaiba kami na edad. Madali lang, sisiw lang to. Pero para sa isang previous generation, meron silang pangamba na baka mapahiya sila, mali ang gawin nila, di ba? So, alam yung dahilan kung bakit yung mga menu sa mga fast food ay mas konting text, maraming malalaking pictures. Para yung mga illiterate, ituturo lang. Oo. So isipin mo, parang ganun, i-multiply mo, pero tech side naman, parang ganun siya. Huwag kayong magalala, balang araw, ang mga anak din ninyo ay pag nakahawak ng magazine, magtataka sila kung bakit swipe sila ng swipe, hindi lumilipat.
Hindi gumagalaw.
Okay. At hindi ka rin in-smart shame ng mga lolo't lola mo, nung bata ka pa, naglalakad ka na walang salawal. Di ba?
Napunta tayo doon.
Oo.
Okay. Anong susunod natin?
At this point, pinapabati tayo sa lahat ng nanonood ng Afternoon Delight via live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. At sa tatay kong antok na. Dad,
hello po.
Tulog ka na. Pwede naman panoorin ito mamaya sa YouTube.
Gusto niya live.
Tama. Tanong na tanong tatay ko, bakit tawa ka ng tawa palagi?
Sobrang ganda po kasi ng humor ng anak nyo, Tito.
Humor lang?
Oo. Gandang lalaki. Okay, Ralph Domingo, Terno Fridays. Terno ba tayo? Oo nga, no? Mukhang Terno. Terno Fridays ulit ang Afternoon Delight. Good afternoon, Tito Lourdes, Tita Denise, Alex Fuentes, of course, Joseph Marasigan.
Mike Policarpio.
Tito Mike, hello po. Malapit na birthday niya sa August 14 daw, watching from San Pedro, Laguna. Advance happy birthday.
Sino to?
Si Joseph Marasigan.
Magpa-plug pala ako ng Speaking of August 14, baka may panahon kayo na dumaan sa opening po ng exhibit ng inyong lingkod na in collaboration with another artist, si Mr. Kaloy Olavides. Sa West Gallery po, August 14, the title of the show is Kalmado. Shots. Parang mga larawang payapa. Calm shots.
Yun lang yun?
Yun lang yun. Collaboration siya ng mga drawings na nagpapakita ng various states of peace.
Iba kasi ang naisip ko sa calm shots. Okay, Friday na talaga.
All is calm, all is bright. Basta kalmado lang ako.
Kalmado
weekend
tayo.
na.
Okay. Sige, bawi tayo ng ating mga pagbate the next week. That will have to do it for us this week though. Thank you for watching Afternoon Delight. Have a great weekend, everyone. Ako po si Denise Tan.
Join us again tomorrow. Monday pala, sorry. May reflection kasi doon. At ang na-reflection ko ay mukha ko, nakita ko. Nasira na pong lahat. Ako po si Lord de Vera. Monday, 2 p.m. Magkita-kita po tayo. Have a delightful afternoon and may you enjoy the rest of your weekend.